Hey everybody, it's Dr. William Clark here for Leadership Conversations. I'm so glad and excited to be with you today. It is the new year. It is 2020, January 1st. I'm excited to be with you today. How was your New Year evening? How did you celebrate? I know for me, I had a great time last night with everybody that showed up. And for those of you that showed up, thank you for coming through. I had a good time with you, had a good time learning with you, planning with you, growing with you, and celebrating the new year and all the blessings that we expect to receive in 2020, all the lessons we're going to learn in 2020. I'm excited that we are in the new year, and I'm excited to be with you. I'm back in the saddle here in our humble studio, and one of my goals that I've shared with you openly is to record 300 podcasts. Lord knows I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to work towards that. It is the idea of a goal that makes us go forward. And as we learned last night, without a vision, we're going to perish. So my vision for 2020, at least one of them, is to record 300 podcasts. So the new year is here. And the question is, what are your goals for 2020? You know, if you don't have goals for 2020, 2020 is going to be just like 2019. It's going to come and it's going to go, and you're going to be here December 31st, 2020, talking about, man, I could have, should have, would have done this. And instead of putting yourself in position to repeat that same thing, I want you, my friend, to have goals for 2020. What are you looking to accomplish in this new year? And I want to share just a couple of things with you about how you can set your goals. This is a simple technique that I use with my clients, with my students, on how to set goals and set a vision for yourself. And it starts with this 4-part series, right? Number one, where are you right now? Now, you may not be where you want to be, and it's okay, but you got to articulate, where are you right now? What's up with your goals? What's up with the things you want to accomplish? What's up with, where you want to be? And have you accomplished anything over the past 12 months? And if it's no, it's totally fine. But where are you right now? Be honest about where you are right now, because as you think about the goals that you want to set for 2020, it begins with understanding your starting point. If you adjust your starting point to make yourself feel good, look better, feel better about what didn't happen, then you're really losing out on reality. And let's say you move the starting point of your reality forward, right? When you do that, the expectations are totally different, because if you say that I'm here when you're really back there, then people who think you're up here are going to hold you accountable for things that happen up here, right? More advanced thinking, more advanced strategy, more advanced observations, more advanced experiences. And when you can't keep up with the stuff over here because your mindset and your experiences are in reality back here, people are going to hold you accountable and they're going to stop doing business with you. And in 2020, that's not what we want to do. So be honest. Where are you right now? The second step to this process is, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be at the end of 2020? And if it makes sense and if it's simple for you, break it down. Where do you want to be at the end of the first quarter, second, third, and fourth quarter of this year? It's important to know where you're trying to get to. What are the KPIs, key performance indicators? What are the goals you need to achieve on a quarterly basis or on an annual basis for you to get to where you're trying to be? I know for me, one of the goals that I've shared with you is to record 300 podcasts a year. Now, one of the ways to get to that is to simply record a podcast every day, or at least release one every week, day of the week, primarily the business days of the week, Monday through Friday, right? And if I do that, release a podcast every day of the week, then I'm going to easily get to my goals. Now, the question becomes, well, how do you make that happen? Do you record a podcast every day? The answer is no. For some of you that wonder, like, how does that happen? No, I don't record a podcast every day. In many instances, I go into the studio for an hour and I record a week's worth of podcasts, chop it up, edit, upload it, and have it post-dated so that when, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning rolls around on the date of its release, then it is automatically released due to the platforms we use, and boom, there it is, a fresh new podcast released every day. That's something I've been doing for years, and my goal is to have it done every week of this year, right? And so that still does not take me to the 300, right? So that means that I'm going to have to record other podcasts throughout the day or on the weekend that gets uploaded, things that are happening, impromptu meetings I'm going to, ideas that I'm having, conversations that I'm having with my team, the ideas that I'm working through, concepts that I'm thinking about that I think are pretty cool. Taking a moment, taking out the phone or taking out the recorder or taking out the headset or doing whatever what I can in the moment, wherever I am, and just hit the record button and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and release it as a podcast. That will get me to my 300. when you look at your goals and you say, I want to be here, you got to be clear about where you want to be. For me, 300 podcasts is the goals. But then the third step of the goal setting process is, how are you going to get there? I just told you my how. Record, an hour a week and chop it up and upload it to the various platforms by which you're receiving this podcast. And then record in between times when I want to get extra podcasts in for the particular week. That's my how. What's your how? What's your goal and what's your how? How are you going to make it happen? Without having a simple strategy of how you're going to get to where you want to be, then you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. Now, let me go back to the beginning. One of the things I said from the very beginning is be clear about where are you right now before you talk about where you want to be. For me, I can't remember how many podcasts I recorded in 2019, but it was enough. It was over, I really want to say clearly over 100, maybe 200, I don't know. But I know I had a starting point. I wasn't where I want to be. I wasn't at 300. That I do know for sure. But I have a starting point. I have the momentum. And if you include the podcasts that were recorded and uploaded, there are still podcasts on my hard drive that I did not upload. There are raw video footage that I just did not upload for whatever reason. And it's still stuff that's there. Man, so when I think about all that stuff that I uploaded, the stuff I recorded, and not to mention the sermons that I've uploaded from my church, which in some cases the content is so good and is so ubiquitous that it can be used as a podcast item. Not to mention the pastors' roundtables that I did. I may have got done 300. I don't know. Maybe I should do the math in 2019. But I know that because I didn't calculate it, I know I at least have a running start towards my 300. I have the momentum. I have the energy. I have the stamina to actually do this on a regular basis. And I know I have a process for recording and chopping and editing and all this other stuff that needs to happen. So for you, where's your starting point? Where do you want to be? How do you get there? And here's the last thing, right? The last thing you got to do is measuring your progress, right? How do you measure your progress? What are the KPIs for you? If I'm getting 300 at minimum, if I need to get 300, I got to record 5 podcasts a week or release 5 a week. Now, to get closer to 300, I got to do probably 7 to 8 a week so that I can account for weekends, which I'm not going to publish on weekends as of right now. That may change. I got to account for holidays where, you guys are off and you're not going to tune in, you're not going to listen, or maybe you will, who knows. And any other vacations I may be on, I may be away, maybe at a conference, maybe at a training, I may be tied up. I got to account for all of that stuff and still have podcasts that are ready to go, ready to be released every weekday of the week, Monday through Friday. So for you, how do you measure your progress? For me, it's 5 to 7, 5 to 8 a week. For you, what are the numbers on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on an annual basis? Where do you need to be to get to where you're going? So you have to have goals for yourself in 2020. And I hope that you get closer to it. Now, I'm probably going to hit on this here and there in 2020 about goal setting. I'm going to be focusing a lot more on fundraising, grant writing, and supporting nonprofits through the ability to raise money. And so I'm going to be shifting gears a bit. That's another goal of mine, surprise, right? Which is why we released the mysixfigurefunding.com website. Join us there to be a part of our webinar. But I got goals. You got goals, but you got to write this stuff down. You got to be clear about what you're doing and make sure that you're checking on the progress throughout the year. I hope that this year is fruitful and is successful and that is impactful. I can't wait to hear the reports about what you're doing along the way. Follow me at drwilliampclark.com. Follow me on mysixfigurefunding.com. Join our webinar. Share with a friend who you know is in the nonprofit world, wants to raise money for the nonprofit and build up from there. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Join me there, My Six Figure Funding, and I got some good stuff to share with you. This is Dr. William Clark. We'll see you in the next show. Peace.